I'm going to keep this pretty quick so we can move into some of our business, but I did want to take a chance to talk about this because I do think there's a lot of kind of cross-cutting themes that I've been hearing earlier today that I think about all the time in my work, that this might be kind of a good presentation to sum up some of the things that we've been seeing. And so I'm going to be talking about building forest carbon capacity, or forest carbon and climate capacity. And again, I'm with Michigan State University, and I lead our forest carbon and climate program. And the one thing I really want to highlight from this first slide is just the kind of unique role of the university. So our mission fundamentally is in research, education, service, and implementation. So in creating knowledge and distributing knowledge. And Michigan State University is a unique university. We're the first land-grant university in the United States, and we have a huge emphasis on natural resource management and agriculture. And so within our university, we have, because this topic is so interdisciplinary, we have a lot of expertise not only within our department, but in other sectors, in other colleges as well, including engineering, people that work with green building materials, planning. So we have a lot of people that I get to talk to all the time right on campus. And then the forestry department is one of the oldest in the United States, and we have actually where we made it through some of the hard years for forestry departments. So a lot of them folded into natural resource programs, and we stuck through, and now we're one of the few actual forestry programs, and we've been growing rapidly recently. We're hiring like 5 new faculty members, and we've increased our undergraduates by 100% in the last 5 years. So kind of like you made it through the lean years, and then now it's, you know, I think it's appealing to not come out of your bachelor's or your master's degree with just some kind of broad brush natural resource management, to be like, I have expertise in this field, and you don't get specific forestry training in other programs. So it really does say something, and it serves a unique purpose. And I did want to just highlight MSU Extension for a quick minute, because I think a lot of people know what Extension is, but if you don't know, it's an arm that reaches across universities, but also works with the government, or has government source funding to work directly with on the ground training. And so MSU does not just train the people that are coming through the university, but we work directly with stakeholders across Michigan, and we're tapped into a larger network of outreach and engagement. So there are a lot of universities have Extension, but they're linked with land-grant universities specifically. And it's a really important part of our work that really values that outreach and engagement piece. And then just to highlight our program, here's our flyer. If anyone's interested, I could email this to them. But our goal is to increase understanding and implementation of climate-smart forest management and everything else here. And we really view ourselves as a platform for partnerships, and we're even more unique than the academic or typical academic activity as well, because we are really able to, research can be slow. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Research can be slow, and what we're doing is we're kind of able to act both to bring the research out of the university, but then bring in some of the current events and things that are happening right now into the university, and are able to work with both of these. So we're looking to bridge the dialogue between academia and the real world, and really our goal is to build kind of to make that communication happen more quickly, and then also to create like a common language about these topics, because they can get kind of overly sciencey or overly technical, and so we want to play a role in smoothing that out a bit. And so we're looking to connect professionals, resource managers, and decision makers. And here's a list of some partners that we've worked with. And so the role of our program, like I just said, is we're really motivated, bridging science with practice and communication, and we're developing and maintaining a network of experts, so both inside and outside of academia. And that's like a specific role that we can do and that we're playing. But as an educational outfit, we are creating learning content, tools, skill building exercises, and we have the infrastructure to offer these learning experiences. So we have like a really wonderful online learning platform that we utilize called Desire to Learn. And our particular expertise, I'll go into some of our activities in a moment, is actually in online interactions. And we are building capacity to do some in-person workshops, but we've been working online, which has its limitations, but offers a lot of benefits if you're aware of what the limitations are. And then the other key aspect is we're interlinking sectors and expertise. We're comfortable crossing the policy conversations, economics, environment, technology, and this is really, I think, where we can be some value added. here's our major action areas. Basically, we have our formal education. So these are 4-credit graduate level courses. We have non-formal education, and I'll talk more about each of these in a moment. We do some kind of contract and grant project-based activities, and then we have just specific stakeholder engagement pieces. So to kind of break these down a little further, for our formal education, we currently have a Forest Carbon Graduate Certificate. It actually has a longer name there, the Forest Carbon Science Policy and Management Graduate Certificate. It's 3 graduate level courses all online. It's been running for 5 years, and we have had the most interesting cohort come through here. We've had people from the U.S. The Department of State, we've had from the Forest Service Climate Change Division, we've had some high-level folks from Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources come through while they're building, they've just got some big climate change legislation go through that has a lot of language about forests, and they sent somebody through our program. We've had some consultants. Right now we have somebody who is a purchaser, or she's with McDonald's looking to identify a deforestation-free commodities. And so she's taking our program to start connecting the dots of what does that mean in relation to carbon and climate. So the program does balance domestic and international topics. And I do teach one of the courses that we have, a Human Dimensions of Forest Carbon Management, and I teach that course. We have non-formal education, and we just won a USDA grant to build a short course titled Understanding Forest Carbon Management, an e-learning program. And this will kind of, one of my biggest frustrations has been that we get a lot of interest in the topic, but the graduate certificate level is just, it's a lot for people that, unless you're pretty sure you're working in this field directly, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of finances. So I've been really working hard to figure out how can we create some learning material that's not as bulky and not as time consuming, but still can like get the job done for people that see it as a value added in their profession. And we see it, wide range of people that are urban planners or in other sectors, builders that want to know what this means. So we're hoping to fill that gap with this, and we're partnering with Chris Swanson at NIAX for that project, and some other great people more in the extension network side. And then we're also exploring partnership with SAF to have some additional deliverables from this kind of course, this content development, to develop sort of mini courses, and then so to kind of boil that down even further into more bite-sized levels. So what we're doing is trying to get away from stuff that's too bulky or inaccessible, and figure out who needs to get access to this information. How can we meet that need? As far as contracts and grants, we've had created some knowledge projects for the World Bank's Forest Investment Program, which was a really fun project for me. And then outreach and engagement, the learning series that I've played a role in coordinating for the Forest Climate Working Group has been a really great example of that. Published writing, and we also have a Forest Carbon and Climate community that I'll show you this on the next slide as well. This is our online portal that we've designed, and this is a way that we engage with people that are affiliated with our program for the long term. So once somebody's come through our graduate certificate program, they're welcome, or maybe they've contributed as an expert lecturer, or I'd be happy to invite anyone in the Forest Climate Working Group to be part of this as well. It's just a portal that you can log into. You can meet other people that are interested in this topic. We have forums, we post jobs on there. So if you have any job opportunities that are related, send them my way. So this is just kind of one way that we're engaging with people in the longer term. And so I wanted to highlight a few things here about linking with which is a really great fit for us, linking with the Forest Climate Working Group. As I mentioned, we've been playing a role in hosting the learning series, which is a really natural fit for us, and thinking about communication and tapping into those experts and getting that information to a broader audience. And it's been really exciting because we've also been able to make that open to the public as well. So we're kind of building up the sort of a listserv on that so we can keep announcing it to more and more folks. And another thing that I'm thinking could be value added is linking this network of experts that we're building in our own program with the Forest Climate Working Group, and making these people, these experts available for any projects or specific questions or things that may come up. And I know that's something that we'll be discussing, which is the next point, is how the Forest Carbon and Climate Program can have a special role in the Forest Climate Working Group, especially as a member of the steering committee. So we're open to ideas there of how we can support knowledge and the community here. Just a quick screenshot for anyone who hasn't seen this. This was the first announcement of the first learning series that we did with Chris Swanson and Sheldon Zakrzewski, and we've had one more since then. And so you can look forward to seeing some more of these in the upcoming year. And then just wanted to highlight, we're posting all of these materials, including the recorded webinar on the website, on our website afterwards. So you can see any of the materials that are mentioned are made available for the long term. So I just want to highlight that the learning series, they're not just kind of a one-time thing. We're making them into learning tools that can be accessed repeatedly. And we are actually launching a new website in mid-November, so this will have its own page soon. And then just a few things on here is just kind of wanted to highlight how we are impacting and engaging our stakeholder base. So we really have a broad and growing group of stakeholders, people that have expressed interest in the topic. And as I mentioned, we're developing short courses and training materials. But I wanted to offer this up to the group that we'd be happy to tap into your expertise as well, and want to kind of open up a conversation. If you think that there's specific ideas, areas that you can contribute to our work, or areas that you see as knowledge gaps, we'd like to know about those, and would really look forward to working with you to see how we can work to make sure that the content that we're creating is really on point, with feels on point for the members, certainly within this group. Here's just an example of an article I published last November, and so we're looking to kind of get some writing pieces out periodically that are entering into not just sort of peer-reviewed academic articles, but articles that are making their way out into more general public or professional groups that are kind of stirring up conversations. And actually, I'm drafting one right now on the CORSIA agreement, so I'll have that out shortly.
Great.
And then so finally, the path ahead is, again, we're expanding our learning opportunities and maintaining our balanced domestic and international focus. We're advancing some of our internal assessment and capacity building, so we're excited about some new people we're bringing onto our team, and have some new engagement and collaborative opportunities, and really looking forward to seeing if this spurs any ideas or conversations in this group as well. One of the growth areas that we're pursuing some new funding opportunities, and one of the growth areas that we really see is maybe sponsoring if there's an opportunity, or if it seems like a fit for anybody in the organizations represented here to complete this type of programming. I'd be happy to talk about that, but also maybe linking into other areas where we see knowledge gaps. And so how can we get knowledge into some of these other areas? Because the fundamental goal of ours is not just to target the natural resource managers, and not just to target people in forestry. We want to target people that are in planning or building and construction and policy making, and get more people on the same page. So I know here in this group we've had a strong emphasis on some of the policy, but we're kind of coming at it at this broad base underneath. Like, how can we get more people engaged so when they hear about these ideas, things are clicking for them, and they say, okay, yes, I know what you're talking about, and this makes sense to me. I can see how this will fit in my life or my state or my where I live or something. So that's kind of our goal, and I'd be interested to see if there's any questions or feedback from that, either today or the longer term.